This episode of the Naperville Moms Network is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Innovative Orthodontic Centers. Personalized, cutting-edge orthodontics for a smile that reflects the real you.
Welcome back to the Naperville Moms Network. Back to school creates another shift in the schedule for parents and kids. There's a lot to plan for. How do you guys handle back to school at your house?
You know, you get into the zone in summer where there's no schedule, spontaneous, and then the idea of going back to school is not only hard on the kids, but even on the parents. Like we've talked about, I think about waking up again early in the morning. But, you know, it doesn't have to be as big of a drastic transition. You know, we try to have fun with it, you know, go shopping for school clothes, new supplies, plan some get-togethers with the friends they're going to have in their next school year, kind of make that transition ease. And one thing that helps our family is looking ahead, maybe planning some fun trips over Labor Day weekend or Columbus Day or Veterans, so then you have something to look forward to. You know, so we try to make it where it doesn't feel like you can't do fun things once school starts. Hey, you know, weather's still nice, you can go to the pool or do something fun. So I think we make the transition a little more seamless and don't make a big deal of it. But getting into the routine of waking up early, we definitely have to work at least a week in advance.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. We usually start working, you know, in early August to prepare for the fact that we're going to have this schedule again. But we also, you know, we enjoy structure. Like there's something about summer ending. I mean, I'm always ready for summer when it's here, but I really like the structure, and I think my kids like the structure of the school year. And so we kind of look forward to that. Now for me, I send one child off to college, and so I used to send two, but one graduated, so now I'm only sending one. But that's a whole different kind of back to school thing, because it's a shift in his priorities, and it's a shift in how much time we see him and how much things we get to do. And it's always a little sad. You know, there's always something about the lazy days of summer where you're all just kind of hanging out and being together, because it's so rare during the school year. I do kind of find myself, you know, we joke about the back to school blues. As happy as I am that everyone's going back to school, there are those moments where I'm a little sad that we're not just hanging out anymore, that we have to. But I love your idea about planning something exciting to not make it seem so sad. I love that.
That's true. I mean, and there are things to look forward to. You know, for the little ones, there's Halloween right around the corner, and it just, for every season, right? You just keep going on. And mine, I mean, my daughter will be going into first grade. If it was up to her, she'd go to school year round. I mean, she
Good for her.
loved it. That won't last. But for now, I mean, she is a true teacher's daughter. That's her happy place. She just found out about summer school and was like, "Why didn't you send me to summer school?" Because, you know, you need a break. Like she loves the structure, but that sometimes I think that's the child who needs to learn how to relax a little bit. My son will be entering a 3-morning-a-week preschool program, and he is a mama's boy, and this is not going to go well. Wow. He's knows what's happening and he knows what's going on, but you know, there are going to be probably a few tears once that happens.
We had some at our
house.
So for my boys, I really look forward to the summer, you know, get that alarm clock turned off a little bit. But then after the time of summer, you know, the last couple weeks we're kind of like, okay, enough of this downtime, enough of this non-structure. I think it does feel good to be like, oh, it's this fresh start, this new year. You've got new teachers. Your grades all reset. And for both my boys, they always seem to be excited at that point once they've had enough summer to go back and see their friends. They really, you know, they enjoy school overall. I mean, it's a lot of work and they have tons of homework, but they like the social aspect of it for sure, and the sports and going and enjoying it. So, you know, once summer is, we're all the way through it, everyone's a little bit ready to get back to the normal routine overall.
Right.
And we definitely, probably a week before, it's like, okay, you need to be in bed by 10 as opposed to 12. My boys are almost 15 and 16, so I'm like, as long as you go to bed before 12, I don't care. I'm always going to bed before them anyway, because I can't stay up that late.
No.
So.
I always do, because I always kind of feel like, and I felt like this especially when all three of my kids were little and going to school, that the first day of school was like New Year's Day for parents. It's like, wow, it is. Grades have been reset, we're all starting, and I started years ago when they would go get their school supplies, I would buy myself school supplies. I would always buy myself a new notebook and a really great pen and different things.
Did you get a Trapper Keeper?
A Trapper, oh gosh, I love a good Trapper Keeper. Who doesn't?
I know.
But I would get all this supplies for myself because it was like resetting the page for me too. And whether it is a work thing or whether it's just a life thing, it's a chance for us to have a new beginning. And when you look at the school year before and you think of all the missed assignments that didn't get turned in and the injuries that happened during the sports game and all those things, it's like we're starting over. And the school year is an opportunity for us to have a fresh start, all of us. So we're all getting new notebooks.
Right. Hey, one of the things my kids, when it gets to the end of the summer and they a little apprehensive of going back to school, I ask them, what is it about summer they're going to miss? And I think the biggest thing they always say is the family time, us hanging out together, whether it's vacations or road trips. So I think it's really important in the chaos of the school year to just remember and have those moments, plan outings or dinner time or whatever it is. So we stay connected. I think that's the harder part for kids. They spend so much time with us, and then they feel they're going to miss out on that.
Right. Well, and you can, I know you were saying there's a book, is it Chasing Slow, that you really like?
Right.
And you can, in the chaos, create those moments where you do slow down.
Absolutely.
You do put the technology away. You do say, hey, on this night, we're all going to go out to dinner, or we're all going to go for ice cream. It's easy to get so caught up in the school year rat race type of thing that you forget to take those moments, and all of a sudden the week's gone by and you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't even talked to my husband, or I haven't spent any one-on-one time with this child. So again, it's, you don't want to make everything that you have to schedule out, but you do have to be thoughtful about what you're doing.
Absolutely. And as we're talking about, new school year is a new reset button. Maybe do things a little different, or look back and say, what can you change to slow down the pace?
Right. Was this too much for you last year?
Right.
Absolutely.
How can we change that this year? How can we improve on this?
There's a lot. My daughter just finished her kindergarten year, so there's probably a lot of moms who are dealing with maybe sending their first child, out into the school, and that's a little scary, especially in 2018. And our school hosted a boo-hoo, woo-hoo breakfast. Some of the parents are crying as they're setting up, and some are cheering. And it's so funny because I thought I would be going in the woo-hoo, I'm ready, let's go. But seeing her so confident and not a tear in her eye and see you later, I've been ready for 2 years, made me boo-hoo. True. Because they say it goes by so quickly. The days are long, the days are, what is it? The years go quickly, the years go by fast, the days are slow. And it's so true. Her kindergarten year just flew by, and I can see how it's all of a sudden now you're on this hamster wheel, and here we go.
Blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
I'm definitely the woohoo. I'm like, my kids were ready to go, and I was just proud of them for being ready for that next phase. And so, but I would see people post on Facebook, I've been crying for 2 days, and I'm like, no, that's not me.
And I
I'm
remember being the same way too. I remember the first time I went to overnight camp, my parents picking me up, and I'm crying, and they said, oh, you missed us so much. I said, no, I don't want to leave. I don't want to come back. And I thought, my daughter's the exact same way. She's asking already, where am I going to college? Out of state, in state.
Well, and the college thing is interesting for back to school. Like, you don't want to forget the buying of the supplies and all that new stuff when they go away to college. Just because they're in college doesn't mean they still don't like to have that fresh start too. But when you send your child to college, I thought I would be very sad when we dropped our daughter off, and I wasn't. And I thought, well, what's wrong with me? Like most parents are all very sad, but I was in the same camp of, I'm proud of who she is and that she's confident for this. However, when we went back for Parents Weekend, 6 weeks later, And then we left that. I cried on the way home because she had settled in, and I got to see this. And while I was really proud of how she had settled in, I think I realized for the very first time that this was it. Like that this was the real big step into her creating a life where I didn't know the parents of these kids. You know, we weren't hanging out at football games. And so I think that was, you know, just a little forewarning for parents sending off their children to college. You will make it through probably the drop-off really well.
Yeah.
Don't get real comfortable there because there's going to be a moment where you're just going to realize that is the next step. But it gets better because then you enjoy who they become as adults. But I think that back to school, those first few moments, even when you send them away to college, it's a little stressful, and it's stressful for them. You know, now they're really on their own, and now they really got to figure it out. And it's not just I didn't remember my locker combination and I had to go to the main office, and how embarrassing is that? It is, I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know, this professor said I didn't come to class and I did, and like, what do we do? So it's like figuring out a whole other new navigation system.
I think you're happy for them that they've grown up and can kind of do, but at the same time, there's a void inside you that they don't need you as much.
Right.
You know?
Well, thanks, Srita. That's very sad.
Well, Srita and I, we have
we're preparing
kids.
ourselves.
In 2 years, our oldest will go to college, and Christopher walked to the bus stop for the last time because he'll have his license when he goes back to school. And I'm watching him walk away, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the last time I'm going to watch you do this. And I don't think of myself as like an overly sentimental mom, meaning I am not the woohoo, I'm I'm not the crying mom.
Right.
But I don't know, there's something about 2 years from college that's making me take a pause and just a moment of
Just taking it in.
I need to slow down a little bit, make sure I'm paying attention for the next 2 years, because then at that point things are going to really change.
Right.
And they're going to be partially launched into life, which is a big deal. You know?
And they'll have new teachers, new professors in your case, you know, new teachers, new friends. And even my daughter already is like, oh, I hope I get so-and-so, you know, this teacher. And well, you only have a 25% chance, so we may not. You know, I hope so-and-so's in my class next year. Well, they probably won't be because you had them this year.
Right.
So transitions are tough, but on the last day of school, I remember her saying, you know, I think she said, I don't know what I'm feeling, which is perfect. She said, because I'm so excited, but I'm really sad. And I said, that's called transition. And I said, and adults go through that all the time, new jobs, you know, moving homes. I said, it's exciting, but, you know, there's also a little bit of sadness too. I said, you'll have so many transitions, and it's just a matter of, you know, what do you do with them? And if you don't, if you are disappointed, you know, about what the next step is, or what teacher you have, or what friends are in your class, what do you do with that? You know, how do you turn
good
it
of her to know that she had an emotion, but she wasn't sure what
How to
it was.
identify
Just
it.
to be able to express, I don't know what I'm feeling. It's really confusing to me.
That's very self-aware for kindergarten.
Really is.
She came out, and I told the other moms, I said, $20, she comes out crying. And so the other kids are running to their moms, and so she like walks and then just goes, and I said, come on, and I said, I know my kid, you know, and she goes, but I'm happy, I don't know, you know. And I think the sign of a great kindergarten teacher is when your child all of a sudden changes their occupation hopes, and now all of a sudden she wants to be a kindergarten teacher. You know?
Right.
Nice.
You don't have the patience, but that's sweet that you want to do
Well,
that.
and I think it's such a great testament to her school year, too, that she was sad to leave that environment. Like, whatever teacher she had created a world that your daughter fell in love with.
Sure.
And in kindergarten, to fall in love with learning, like, that's going to be... She's going to have that for the the rest of her life. Like that.
Kindergarten
That's
teachers
really
are saints.
amazing. They really are.
They're a special category.
For sure.
Yeah, that's for
Yes.
sure. We wish you all a smooth and successful back-to-school transition. We appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Naperville Moms Network. And remember, you are always invited. Thank you.